It was the sixth time this month that Lisa had sent me that same message, "Can't come tonight, something happened." The words hit harder than I wanted to admit. I stared at my phone for a long time, my dinner growing cold on the table. We had been together for almost 2 years, and in the beginning, she was the one always eager to meet. Now, she was the one canceling. Something didn't feel right anymore. At first, I tried to be understanding. She had a demanding job at a marketing firm, and late-night projects were common. But lately, her excuses had become vague and repetitive. No details, no calls afterward, just those 5 words. When I asked if everything was okay, she always replied, "Just work stress, I promise." I wanted to believe her, but the pit in my stomach said otherwise. That Friday night, after receiving her message again, I decided not to let it slide. Instead of texting back, I got in my car and drove toward her office. I knew she often worked late, so I thought maybe I could surprise her with her favorite coffee and help her get home safely. The drive was quiet, the kind of silence that lets your mind play every worst-case scenario on repeat. When I arrived, the building was mostly dark. Only a few windows were lit. I parked across the street and waited, thinking she might walk out any minute. But half an hour passed, then an hour. Still no sign of Lisa. That's when I noticed something strange. Her car wasn't there either. If she was really working late, where was her car? Curiosity turned into suspicion. I called her, but it went straight to voicemail. I checked her location through a shared app we had once set up when she traveled. To my surprise, the dot didn't show her office. It was near a quiet residential area on the other side of town. My chest tightened. I sat there for a full minute, unsure whether to trust what I was seeing. Then I started the engine and followed the map. The closer I got, the more uneasy I felt. Finally, I reached the street, calm, lined with small houses. Her car was right there, parked in front of a 2-story home I didn't recognize. The lights inside were dim, but I could see movement through the curtains. I didn't want to jump to conclusions, but my instincts screamed at me that I already knew. I sat there for a long while, trying to gather courage. Eventually, I walked up to the driveway. I didn't knock, didn't call her name. I just waited. After a few minutes, the door opened, not by Lisa, but by a man I'd never seen before. He looked surprised for a second before his expression shifted to something awkwardly familiar, like he recognized me. Then I heard Lisa's voice from inside, calling his name. My heart sank. She came to the door, her face freezing when she saw me. There was no way to cover it up now. Her expression said everything: shock, guilt, fear. "What are you doing here?" she whispered, as if I was the one who had done something wrong. I didn't yell. I didn't even speak at first. I just looked at her, waiting for an explanation that would never come. After a long silence, she finally said, "It's not what you think." But the man behind her, still standing half-hidden in the doorway, made that line almost laughable. I just nodded and said quietly, "Then tell me what it is." She had no answer. I turned around and walked away before she could speak again. That night, I drove without direction. My phone buzzed with her messages, long paragraphs about confusion, apologies, excuses. I didn't read them. I just drove until sunrise, parked by the ocean, and let the sound of the waves drown everything out. The betrayal stung not just because she cheated, but because she had made me doubt my own instincts for weeks. In the days that followed, I didn't confront her again. She called, texted, even showed up at my place once, crying and saying she'd made a mistake. But I had already made up my mind. I told her I wasn't angry, just done. There was no trust left to rebuild, no point pretending we could fix what she had broken 6 times over. A few weeks later, I started going to the gym again, reconnected with old friends, and began focusing on work. Healing wasn't quick, but it was steady. Every time I thought about that message, "Can't come tonight, something happened," I realized how many chances I'd given to someone who didn't value me enough to be honest. Months passed, and one day I got a message from her again. This time it said, "I'm sorry for everything. I hope you're doing better." I looked at it for a moment, then deleted it. I had no anger left, no need for revenge. Just a calm acceptance that sometimes people teach you painful lessons in trust. In the end, I learned that love without honesty is just a beautiful illusion waiting to shatter. And when it finally does, you have two choices: stay broken or walk away and build yourself back stronger. I chose the latter.